Hello and welcome back to Like Maria. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to talk about one word which means lots of different things in different contexts. And because it's Christmas, I'm going to use a word that popped up into my head associated with Santa Claus. Sometimes we call him Saint Nick. So I'm going to be concentrating today on that word Nick. And this video will be quite useful for someone perhaps an adult learner of language wanting to improve and extend their vocabulary. So, after today, you'll know all about Nick, just like Maria. So, first of all, Saint Nick, short for Nicholas, quite a common abbreviation of that name. Also Nicola. Interestingly, moving on from Saint Nick, who is the good saint, we also have a term in English, Old Nick, and Old Nick means the devil or Satan. So Old Nick, Good Nick, it's quite interesting how we use it there as a name. Moving on with names, we talk about something called a nickname. And a nickname is something a shorthand that we give for perhaps one of our friends or we have as our own. A nickname, something that's a little bit extra. So my nickname might be Maz, Caroline's is sometimes Kaz. Maz and Kaz, our nicknames. And it's quite popular to have a variety of nicknames, especially with the kind of handles we use on social media. Okay, going back to some more useful and usual perhaps uses of nick. One of them is the casual verb to nick something, and it means to steal. I nicked this from her. I nicked my friend's makeup, or I nicked a book from the library. Now, there's a fine line here. Nicking the book from the library is not a great thing. Nicking the makeup maybe is okay if your friend kind of wouldn't mind that sort of thing. So nick is a casual way of saying to steal. It's not usually a very serious crime. I nicked something is just a sort of light-hearted way, really. Sticking on the topic of crime, nick is an interesting word in that field because we have a prison or a jail cell is known as the nick. So he was sent to the nick, or he's down the nick. And also, if someone is arrested, you might say the policeman nicked him. He was kind of stolen away to be arrested. He was nicked, meaning he was arrested. Or a policeman himself or herself might say, I nicked him. So there's all those meanings associated with stealing and crime. There's also another meaning to nick, which means to make a little groove in something or a little cut in something. We can use it as a verb, to nick. I nicked myself shaving, for example, or I nicked my nail with the knife. I was chopping and I nicked my nail, meaning I caught it. But also the noun, the nick. There's a nick in that piece of wood, which is also the associated noun. So a variety of uses there. I also wanted to mention the phrase, in the nick of time. Just in the nick of time. I got to the bus stop in the nick of time. I stopped myself in the nick of time. It means just in the moment before it would have been terrible to be there. I got there in the nick of time. So, lots and lots of different ways of using one word, nick, in many, many different ways. So I hope today that's given you a little bit of insight into the colloquialisms and the many, many ways that we can use just one word, just like Maria.